While the Bodhisattva Mañjuśrī is not the most popular bodhisattva in Southeast Asia, in the Buddhist pantheon he is considered one of the most important. He is associated with wisdom, specifically the wisdom of the Buddha. Similarly to Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri is also shown in his princely form with jewelry. He is often depicted as a young boy through different symbols, one of which is a crescent behind his head. An example of this is seen in a stone statue from central Java, which is now in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. This symbol is used specifically for Mañjuśrī, but it is specific to Javanese art as well. In Hindu art, we see the crescent used at the front of the hair topknot for both Shiva and Ganesha. Mañjuśrī has a boy's double sacred thread, known as a chanavira, which is fixed at the front of his chest for this particular image. Unfortunately, both of Mañjuśrī's arms are missing in this image, so we do not know what kind of iconographic attributes he once held. Another object that can be used to identify him is a sword that he uses to cut through ignorance. One example of this is another stone statue of the Bodhisattva, which is from East Java. Based on an inscription in the stone, we can date this image to 1343 of the Common Era. In his right hand he holds a sword, lifted as if ready to strike, and in his left hand he likely holds a manuscript. In Javanese art, Mañjuśrī is represented as seated and with two arms. His left hand commonly holds a flower with a book resting on top, although at times the sword may be depicted on top of the flower. One example of this is a bronze statuette that is now in the Volkenkunde collection in Leiden, the Netherlands. Here we see Mañjuśrī displaying the gift-giving gesture with his right hand, and in his left hand he holds a lotus with a sword on top of the flower. Mañjuśrī is often depicted with a different hairstyle compared to other bodhisattvas. One example is a stone sculpture from Bodh Gaya in the Bihar state of India. It is from the Pala period and dated to the 11th to the 12th century. The same hairstyle is seen in Javanese statuettes of the Bodhisattva. For instance, a small silver figure, now in the Linden Museum in Stuttgart, combines several of the previously mentioned symbols with the crescent behind his head, the aforementioned hairstyle, and the double sacred thread, along with the flower with a book resting on top. Another silver statuette of Mañjuśrī, which is now in the Museum Nacional Indonesia in Jakarta, shows the Bodhisattva seated with his right hand displaying the gift-giving gesture and the left hand holding a blue lily with a book on top. This statuette is considered to be from the 10th century and is from central Java. It is larger than most statuettes, with a height of 29 centimeters. It was found in 1927 by a farmer just a mile from the city of Semarang. One of the unique elements of this statue is the necklace, consisting of a rectangular amulet incorporating two tigers' teeth, along with the pendants, some that take the shape of a tiger's claws. In the Javanese images, we see Mañjuśrī holding a blue lily, also called utpala, but in some iconographic texts, he is described as holding a lotus, so the type of flower may change. For example, the Volkenkunde figure holds a lotus with a sword on top. Then another statuette, this one in the Rijksmuseum, the Bodhisattva holds the blue lily with a manuscript resting on top. This figure has the same hairstyle that we have seen from the previous images, but this time he does not have the double sacred thread, but the regular sacred thread. Unfortunately, the attribute in Mañjuśrī's right hand is damaged and cannot be identified. This is just a brief introduction to images of Mañjuśrī, primarily from Java. There are many more images of the Bodhisattva of Wisdom.